Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do Hunter x Hunter 2011 episode 76 review. So, of course, before I get started, look down in the description below for the link to this week's episode of Hunter x Hunter. And a little disclaimer, no Japanese company, corporation, or network has any claim to this video. The thumbnail is an original photo, which belongs to no Japanese company, corporation, or network. The visuals are me, they do not own me, and the audio is me speaking over a homemade soundtrack. They do not own my voice. This video follows the rules and regulations provided and set by YouTube/Google. Now, I'm gonna cut straight to the chase. I'm gonna cut straight to the fucking chase. This episode of Hunter x Hunter, I'm not gonna lie, disappointing. It was like this is the first episode of the Chimera Ant arc, and it was predominantly filler. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was not pleased. First of all, like them meeting Kite is like all real. Like there's actually like legit scenes in this episode where which they actually coincide with the manga. Like for example, that one miniature flashback scene of that one girl who was the girl who signals people to leave Greed Island. Her Irene or like something of that, like Elena. I forgot her name. Not important. But basically, it's like we have Gin talking to her, telling her like, look, all right, make it so that if Gon uses a company, Gon goes over to Kite. But if he uses magnetic force, he comes over to me. And that's because, you know, I don't want to meet Gon unless he can man up and face me by himself. So, and then she's like, that's some bullshit. Like you're probably afraid of meeting people in groups, and he's like, no, just fucking do it. But and then also there's a scene where, well, actually, I mean, yeah, like them meeting Kite is all legit, but like when they meet Kite, it's not like, oh my god, like all this backstory is revealed. No, it's like Kite turns around and he's like, is that Gon? And then Gon's like, Kite, and then like they talk, and then Kite's like, yeah, like Gin told me to like use an alias while I was in the game. That's what he tells Gon. Like, I use an alias, and that alias was Nick. So it's like, what the fuck? Like a vast majority of this episode was filler. It was like, no. And I didn't like the fact that the queen didn't talk until like the end of the episode. I'm like there was no beach scene because like she was like, the way it was planned out in the manga was that like she winds up, you know, drifting ashore onto a beach and she's wounded, heavily wounded. She like crawls over to like a cave, and then she does what we see in the actual anime. Like she uses like one of her fields as a rod to attract these fish, and then she consumes all these fish so she can recover and recuperate, so she can give birth to the king. Which, I mean, I can't fucking wait. I mean, it's that simple. Like when this guy comes, I can't fight. And like you already see in the opening, you already see the king. Like you see him twice, and I mean, I wasn't a fan of the fact that they kind of altered that. Like in my personal opinion, the Chimera Ant arc should be animated point for point via collaboration on the manga. Like this is the first time you're ever going to animate this arc. Why are you going to alter shit? I mean, I think it's because of the fact that they never actually did the whole entire Kite backstory at the beginning of the fucking series, where it was supposed to be. And so when Go met Kite, it was like some weird fucking mystery. He's like, oh, like, who are you? Like, I'm fucking Kite. You know, like, oh, I remember you are. You're Gon. Like back in the day, I saved you from a fox bear mother because you wind up walking into their den when they were breeding, and all of this shit. And then there's like another filler backstory about how Kite had to go find Jin, because that was his final task that was Jin's final test to him as a student and pupil like relationship. And I mean it was like, no. And then there was like a whole scheme of overthinking. It was like, yeah, like Jin set up all this shit. Like what? Like no. Like the only thing Jin set up in recollection to the manga is him meeting Razor and then the whole entire Kite and Jin thing. But then even then, Kite was already in on the plan. The way this episode made it seem as if like Kite wasn't in on the plan. It was like, no, he was in on the plan. He was so in. So no, like it irked me, like really bad. And the filler, I'm not a fan of it because no, just no. That's all I can say. Just no, man. And another filler scene with the miniature chimera ants. I'm like, what the fuck are these things? Like, what? Because right now they're on this continent called the European. I think it's a European continent. I forgot the exact name, but I think it's a Y. It's like European, but I think it's European. Something, whatever. Either way. They're on this continent. And the Chimera Queen is on like the southern islands. Like they even said in the actual, like when they were cutting out to the ending, they even like say like the Chimera Ant, like she's on like the southern island chain, where that's where she drifted ashore. And the European continent is on like the southern western edge of the actual global map. And that's where she drifted ashore. And but also Gon and Kite are also on the same continent. And I'm telling you right now, the Chimera Ants, they did not exist, like as far as I know in the manga. Not even miniature Chimera Ants existed on the fucking European continent. So I'm like what are these things? Like what's going on? What? I mean, you do get a glimpse of what Kite's abilities are, where he has the Nen slot machine, and then it turns into like various weapons. But it's a slot machine; it goes by choice, and if he gets a bad pick, then he has to deal with it. He has to deal with that bad pick. He can't choose another slot. No, he has to stick with that slot. So, I mean, but then even still, it was like it's too early, man. Like, he doesn't even reveal his shit until like a few chapters into the arc. It's like, what the fuck? So, like, no, man. Like, this episode of Hunter x Hunter, unfortunately, is subpar. I mean, if you guys actually don't read the manga, then I guess you guys found it okay. I guess you guys are pretty, surprised, like, who is this guy? Like, and then, Kite. But, like, his whole entire backstory is filler. The whole entire miniature Chimera Ants are filler. Them debating, like them talking about Jin and how he planned all this shit, most of that's filler. There's just a lot of filler. There's just so much filler, and it irked the shit out of me. So this episode rating, unfortunately, is going to be subpar because fuck, man. Like, now I'm pissed off that they didn't decide to do this shit at the beginning of the Hunter x Hunter 2011 series. I'm pissed about that because that should have been one of the key cornerstones about Kite's introduction. How when he was a child, he was saved by Kite, and then how he became friends with the Fox Bear and yada yada yada. That was very important at the beginning of Hunter x Hunter. But no. We're gonna skip this shit apparently, and now we're gonna come back to it in like masses of filler in the first ever animation of the Chimerian arc. So not really a good start. Definitely not a good start. No. Not a good start. Not digging it, not liking it. I hated it. But I'll give it a subpar rating overall because the pacing was fairly okay. The animation was good as usual, but no. Like, I won't even look at it from an anime viewer standpoint. I just can't because I've read the manga several times over, and that irks me. That really irks me when I'm like, no. What's going on? So I'll leave it at that. But aside from that, there shouldn't be any more filler. There shouldn't. I don't think so. If there is, I'm pissed. But then again, there probably will be. Why? Because Togashi Yoshihiro, unfortunately, I believe he's still ill. Either he's still ill or like he's doing, I don't know, man. But basically the manga's still on hiatus. So Togashi Yoshihiro, he's unable to actually continue writing out the actual manga. But I'm done. King of Lightning. Be sure, of course, rate, comment, and subscribe as always. And I'm signing out. Peace. Have a nice day.